Yo, what's up guys, it's your favorite commentary channel Cyrix here and welcome back to a brand new video. So today we're going to be talking about a YouTuber that goes by the name of Chibi Reviews. So if you guys don't know who Chibi Reviews is, he's basically an anime YouTuber who has almost 500,000 subscribers. So he's similar to somebody like Desu, which they're very similar, and I'm gonna touch on that in a little bit. And over the past couple weeks to a month or so, he's made himself out to be one of the biggest locals currently, and I can't say I really feel bad for him. So I decided I might as well take a look at this situation surrounding him and make fun of him a little, because he honestly deserves it for being an absolute crybaby loser. And I know I'm finna get a lot of his weirdo degenerate supporters mad at this video, which I kinda really don't care, to be honest, because you know, I need the views. So yeah, with enough yapping, let's dive right into the situation. Roll the intro. So this entire situation started where a pretty large streamer who goes by the name of Jidion decided to call out the Lollcon community, and then another content creator, Schelp, backed up Jidion saying that Lollcon is pedophilia. And for anyone who doesn't know who Schelp is, he's basically a Roblox YouTuber who catches child predators. And for anybody who's been an OG of the channel and has seen my past videos, you should already know my stance on Lollcons. But I guess Chibi didn't like this because he went on a whole crusade trying to attack him for this. He even shared a document made by Parlo of all people trying to insinuate that Schelp was defending pedophiles, which isn't true whatsoever, and if you know Parlo, then you know that he isn't a reliable source whatsoever. And this isn't because I have some sort of bias against Parlo because of my past feuds with him, I'm just speaking the facts. Also, I love how Parlo tries to insert himself into a situation that has absolutely nothing to do with him, but we're not here to talk about Parlo, okay? We're here to talk about this dude. So yeah, basically Chibi went on a whole schizo rant on Twitter saying that Jidion and Schelp don't care about actual victims because they dare to call Lollcon what it actually is. Mind you, this is the same person that was crying and complaining because he couldn't see the panty shots of a female character in a video game. So basically there's this anime called 7 Deadly Sins, and they have this video game called the 7 Deadly Sins Origin, and in the game you could see the underwear of one of the female characters, but they later changed it. So Chibi, being the max prestige gooner he is, decides to make a whole 5-minute long video pretty much throwing a whole temper tantrum about this. Mind you, the character that he's talking about is named Tiore, and she's 15 years old. And you would think that her being 15 was already bad enough, but in the game, which is a prequel to the series, she's 11 years old. And his reaction to not being able to see her underwear is absolutely priceless. Let me just play the video.
So let me get this straight, the 7 Deadly Sins game in beta was entirely uncensored with its fan service, had accurate character designs, and there was even pantsu shots for its female cast members. Come to find out that day one, completely censored. They completely lied to you, and they completely changed and edited the designs to hide any problematic content, sanitize it, and say you cannot do that. And this is the biggest misleading advertisement I have seen in a very long time. What do you mean that you release a beta version of your game, showcase accurate designs from the characters from the manga, by the way, and you get fans excited, praising it, that you're willing to be completely uncensored, and then when it finally does come out, after you manage to gain a little bit of a community that wants to support your game, you turn around, rug pull them, and you start censoring the designs. This makes me never want to touch any product that this game company and anyone associated with it worked on.
Dude, this is actually one of the most misleading games I've ever seen. I can't believe they won't let me see the underwear of an underage girl, and for that, I'm not buying any more products from this company ever again. Bro, you're a grown man throwing a fit because you couldn't see the underwear of an underage character. Do you realize how incredibly weird you sound right now? You're out here throwing a hissy fit because you couldn't see a female character's underwear, an 11-year-old character at that. Like, you're genuinely a straight up weirdo, dude. And all these Lollcons wonder why people call them pedophiles. Because Chibi and many others are complaining that they couldn't wank off to a character that's a literal child. And this isn't the only instance of Chibi being a weirdo. He's admitted to being attracted to the girls from Pokemon who are also children. Not only that, but he's also posted some interesting stuff on Twitter pretty much saying that he's endorsing incest. Yeah, just lock this dude up right now. And the fact that this dude Chibi actually has a fiance despite him being an absolute weirdo is actually surprising to me. Oh. So about that. So if you guys don't know, a few months ago, Chibi made a video titled, I Lost Everything. And in this video, he says that his fiance essentially cucked him with his best friend of 10 years.
On the 11th of February, I discover my fiance cheating on me with my best friend of 10 years.
And normally I would feel bad for anybody who got cheated on, but for Chibi, I don't really feel bad for him. Because as I said before, this dude is an absolute weirdo. Because he proudly talks about how he's attracted to underage anime characters. And I find it really funny how when I made a tweet pretty much making fun of him, he immediately blocked me. And I didn't even tag him other than one previous tweet I made before, which means he's literally just searching up his name on Twitter just so we can find people to block. But hey, I guess I'll consider this a win. Also, another thing I would like to point out is that whenever somebody dares to challenge Chibi on his views, he decides to dodge the discussion. For example, when Jidion tried to get him onto a live stream to debate his stance on Lollcon, Chibi then proceeds to duck the debate. And according to Chibi, it's because of quote-unquote personal attacks. So you're saying you won't get on a debate because of a few mean words being thrown at you. I swear, these people are the biggest cowards known to man. Like, they talk all big on their accounts, but when somebody with opposing beliefs decides to challenge them, they immediately run away with their tails between their legs. And it's funny because y'all are straight up fake demons, bro. Anyway, so I think it's time for me to talk about one of the most horrendous videos that Chibi has ever posted onto YouTube. So if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, basically Chibi made this tweet saying that he's making a Lollcon defense video and saying that he's going to continue fighting for freedom of speech with an artwork. Dude, quit acting like you're some sort of martyr. Like, who is this dude feeling like today? And this video was so bad to the point where a bigger commentary channel who goes by the name of Diesel Patches decided to make fun of him by reacting to the video. And I guess Chibi didn't really like the fact that Diesel was making fun of him because he then proceeds to insinuate that Diesel was into lolly. And what is this dude's amazing evidence, you may ask? Well, it's a nearly 2-year-old video that is obviously a joke. So as you could tell, Chibi likes to find any sort of dirt on people who criticize him in order to call them either a hypocrite or a weirdo. And this is a classic tactic that Lolicons like to use against people who criticize them. They've did it to me, they've did it to one of my friends Mythical, they did it to Schelp, Jidion, etc. Anyway, so this absolutely amazing video that Chibi made is titled Lolicons Are Weird and Need to Be Jailed. So yeah, let's go ahead and react to this video because you know I need the watch time. So yeah, play the video.
I want to catch a lot of heat for this video and probably receive hundreds of thousands of death threats for even making a video discussing lollies and even trying to defend lollies, but we're gonna get right into it because I've already faced death threats, I've already faced slander, false accusations, people doxing me, sending me stuff in the mail, all sorts of horrific stuff for my stances on fictional content. So, you know what? Screw it. I'm not gonna bow down and bend the knee.
Holy actually shut up, dude. Like, I promise you, you won't seem tough by not quote-unquote bending the knee to people who are rightfully calling you a weirdo.
However, what really shocks me is that an individual that has their entire career based around being a predator catcher is someone that cannot separate fiction from reality. That is what really blew me away when I saw this post today, and the amount of damage that this post and this individual is going to cause to actual real people and victims out there and allow criminals to actually get away.
So according to Chibi, calling Lolicons what they are, which are pedophiles, is apparently very harmful to actual victims of CSA, and can also inadvertently help offenders actually get away with their crimes. Like, in what world does that logic make any sort of sense? You know, maybe I'm just looking too much into it, okay? Maybe he's gonna clarify later on in the video.
And so let's just get right into this. So first off, let's address the elephant in the room, which is what Schelp is talking about. He's talking about how lollies are basically, if you like lollies, you defend lollies, you're a PDF. That's what he is pretty much saying in this post.
No, that's not what he's saying. Where did you even pull that from? He's saying that Lollcon is pedophilia, not lollies themselves. And I just want to make it clear, I have nothing against lollies by themselves, okay? It's only when they're sexualized is when I have a problem with it. Anyway, so this next point of Chibi's might actually be the only semi-decent point he's choice actually ever made in this video, which really says a lot. And this point is about Schelp editing one of the tweets that was shown in the earlier clips, and how apparently in the original version of the tweet he claimed that CSAM content and Lolicon were pretty much the same.
And what's very interesting about this post, by the way, with him trying to compare the two of fictional content that's a drawing on a piece of paper or an animated pixel, he actually edited his post here, which Packer Girl showcases a screenshot, and I'll showcase this as legit in a second, but basically you can see his original post here, you know, he actually has anime in front of it, showcasing what he's actually talking about. Then he quickly edited his post to remove it.
Although I don't know for certain if he edited the tweet, but if he actually edited it to make it sound more worse than it actually is, then I'll give Chibi that one, I guess. Because even though I'm heavily against and disgusted by Lolicon and CSAM content are not the same. But after this, that's where all the good points stop, okay? It goes back to straight up delusion, because I guess he tries to justify his weird logic of actual victims being harmed.
So, first off, you are a police officer in, you know, the office at the county sheriff office or whatever, and you only have a certain amount of officers. Let's say there's 30 or 50 officers within the police office. You receive a call that apparently someone is harming someone, and you take this call, you take it very seriously because it's your job. So you go and investigate, and when you go and investigate whatever's going on, you come to find out it's actually just a drawing. It's a pixel on the screen. It's nothing. There's nobody being hurt, no victims, nothing. It is just entirely a drawing on the screen. And I don't think I really need to outline why this is a problem, but all this does is it stalls police from being able to actually catch real criminals and help victims be able to recover. It really just actually overloads the system, and it causes a limited amount of resources to be used for false calls. That's pretty much what happens in this case with people that can't separate fiction from reality.
This might actually be one of the worst points I've ever heard in my entire life.
This nigga is trash.
Because all this guy is doing is just reaching so hard to make an actual point. Because you mean to tell me that there are so many people calling in about lolicons that the police can't do anything to help actual victims? Like, if that isn't one of the most retarded explanations, then I don't know what is. Because I find it very hard to believe that there are so many people calling into their local police station about lolicon.
And in fact, most of the time when people are this adamant about lolly content that are basically saying it is the equivalent of actual real people, most of the time from what I have seen, they turn out to be some form of, like, a problem or a criminal themselves, or they have skeletons in the closet. Something is going on there.
Okay, now we're just insinuating that Schelp is a pedophile or some sort of criminal. I knew the copium and projection levels were high, but I didn't know they were this high.
And basically, if people are going this hard after, let's say, lolly content, why aren't they going hard after Game of Thrones? There's some very crazy stuff within Game of Thrones' books, by the way, that have actual characters that are technically not 18 plus within it. But for some reason, that is completely fine, because you want to know why? It's popular. It's a big series. People accept it.
The fact that you try to compare Lolicon to something like Game of Thrones is so laughable, because they're not comparable whatsoever. Sure, Game of Thrones does have some adult themes featuring underage characters, but the difference between the two is that Game of Thrones isn't actively trying to glorify these themes. Game of Thrones is only trying to present dark themes, that's all. While with Lolicon, on the other hand, its main purpose is to arouse the reader. Think of some anime like Berserk or Chainsaw Man, for example. They don't add all these adult themes in order to arouse the viewer. They implement them because it shows how much of a dark and cruel world these characters live in. So all this comes down to really is intent. Anyway, so for the rest of the video, he quite literally just yaps, so that's where I'm gonna end off the video for today. If you like this video and you want to see more content from me, consider subscribing. And if you want to be a part of my community, consider joining the Discord server. And also, if you want to see some extra content from me that isn't commentary related, go subscribe to my second channel. All the links will be in the description. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.